good day. Welcome to your energizing yoga class. This is your rise and shine call, especially as we are moving into the period of, well, here in the Northern Hemisphere, where the days are getting longer, the nights are getting longer. I think it's really important to call in that solar power, call in that energizing force into our life. And especially as we're moving perhaps into the holiday seasons, it might be time to also get that digestive fire going. So today we're going to start the practice standing up and start with your legs hip width distance apart. And we're going to just start with some simple hip circles to get into the body and get into the breath. So inhaling forward, exhaling back, inhaling up and forward, the pelvis, exhaling back. And really elongating through the pelvis. You might even think about the spine being nice and tall and straight, the upper spine, as you're just, it's like a gyroscoping the hips around and finding any points in the hips where there might be tightness. Also thinking about engaging the belly button back towards the spine and finding this relationship between the breath and the movement. Can you coordinate the breath and the movement? And switching the hips in the other direction, hands on the hips. Really taking your time through any areas of the hips that might feel stuck, where there's any tightness. And even pressing through the toes as you're extending up through the torso. So can you lean back a little bit further as the body comes forward, exhaling forward, inhaling back, opening up the heart and opening up the chest. You might even get some little snap, crackle pops in the hip joints as you're beginning to get that synovial fluid open and connected with the breath and the body. And then slowly coming back to some slower circles and then coming back to a point of stillness. Inhaling the arms up and above the head, gathering the energy into the center of the heart. Inhaling, reaching the hands up, articulating through the fingertips, coming into your star position as you're pushing through the toes and strengthening into the thighs. So you'll notice here that the knees are out at a 45-degree angle. The toes are pointing out towards the corners of the room. Inhaling up. And the feet are wider than hip width distance apart here as you're coming into this horse stance. This is, especially in a lot of healing arts traditions, is called the horse stance, where you're coming into the dantian, the center in the belly, as we're lighting up the digestive fire with the breath. Inhaling the arms up, reaching, extending through the fingertips, and gathering as you're bringing this energy down to the tailbone. Inhale, reaching and extending up. You might even look up towards your fingertips and extending, pulling the hands back through the center line of the body. Well, inhale, staying in this horse stance, really nice and tight and firm through the thighs here. You can even bring the hands in front of the heart here. We're going to take 3 breaths here. Inhaling and exhaling. Roll the shoulders up and down and back. Getting straight into it today. Inhaling into the center of the belly, into that center of the heat. And one more time, inhale the arms up while staying in that stance. Pressing equally force. The force comes into the toes, into the feet as the hands come down. And one more time, inhale the arms up. And on the next exhale, extend through the legs. Nice and strong and firm. Inhaling the chin down towards the chest. And identifying the beating of the heart here. Could you even silence the mind enough Coming to your inhale and your exhale, a 3-count breath. As the chin is down towards the chest, we're going to get into our ujjayi or victory breath, a gentle snoring in the back of the throat, which is a lot easier here to notice as you have the compression in the Jalandhara Bandha or in the throat lock here. So on the inhale, filling up the breath from the belly, letting the belly be nice and loose and free, feeling the breath as it moves into the center of the heart and how it comes all the way up underneath the back of the throat. And on the exhale, gently snoring out through the back of the throat, the heart, hand comes back towards the heart, the belly button comes back towards the navel. Beautiful. We're going to come one more time into our horse stance. Inhale the arms out. And on the exhale, bending the legs here, coming out into your horse stance, tucking the tailbone under here, and inhaling the arms up, and exhaling to the center of the body. This time, inhaling the arms out in front of you, interlacing the fingers so that the palms come forward, and then rotating the shoulders up and down and back, and exhaling the hands up. Beautiful. Inhaling here, exhaling, and giving a nice side bend here to the right. Can you sit a little bit further in your chair? Woo! And if you need to, it's okay to come up for a second and then back down. But I invite you to just really try to gather that strength and gather this heat as the body is warming up here. Extending the arms to the other side. Inhaling the hands back to the center. And exhaling, woo! Yes, letting that go. Taking the hips back and forth. And maybe even, let's just do some qigong pounding. So warming up the hands here in front of the body. You can imagine that as you're creating some heat, you're gathering energy, life force into the hands, into the body. And we're going to use this to give ourselves a quick little self-massage here. So just tapping gently on the top of the head, down the sides of the face, down the front of the cheekbones, alongside the neck. You can massage into the corners of the shoulders here, gently tapping along the front side of the body, the ribs. Tapping, bringing some awakeness, some aliveness into the side of the ribs, especially if you're doing this first thing in the morning, just encouraging with the warmth and the heat of the hands, and then tapping down the legs. And using this gentle patting to create some blood flow and awakeness and aliveness. And make sure you get along the back side of the kidneys is really important. They do so much good work for us filtering out toxins in the body, and then the backside of the lungs. Really important too, with building the immune system, this tapping to bring force and to bring energizing goodness into the body. Beautiful. So inhaling the arms up, back in that horse stance, and exhaling the hands to the center. Inhaling the arms out, interlacing the fingers, and exhaling the hands up. Inhale, moving through the sequence again, over to the right side. As you're sitting down in your chair, exhaling back to the center. Inhaling the hands towards the top of the head, exhaling the hands back up. Inhaling, bending towards the left side. Inhaling back up to the center. And exhale, releasing the legs. Woo! Yes. Opening up the body, opening up the breath. And coming into a gentle, what I like to call knocking on heaven's door, or it's just a nice warming up the body. You're going to allow the toes to just gently shift back and forth as the arms hang nice and loose and free. And they wrap around and gently tap on the back side of the body. So inhaling and exhaling, coordinating the breath and the movement. And just Letting the head be nice and loose and free. Can you look all the way behind you? This might seem silly at first, but really finding the joy and the freedom in this movement. How often do you really do a side twist like this, where you're looking, just allowing, even thinking of the body as a corkscrew? And even pressing out through we could slow the movement down. And as we move and look over the left shoulder, we're pressing into the right toe, and then coming back to the center, the arms wrap out, and then wrapping around so that the right hand is tapping back behind the left kidney, and then looking over the right shoulders, you're pressing into the left toe, coming back at equal force in both feet, and then wrapping the hands around again. And opening up that movement and just letting the momentum of the body move the hands around. Allowing it to give a little massage again to the kidneys, to the back body, and to the hips. Also thinking about the neck, initiating the movement in the neck from the center of the spine. So often we have our neck or our chin, we do, especially with so much of the cell phone movement that we're in currently, where we're always looking down with this extended back of the neck position and weird sitting positions, on the couch, on the bed, wherever we are. And really just thinking about extending through the top of the head and getting a more full body movement through the neck, and seeing how far can you look behind you. What is the furthest that you can use even your vision to reach all the way behind you as your arms are swinging around. Beautiful. And then coming back to stillness, and the feet hip width distance apart, palms facing forward, lifting up on the kneecaps, gently closing the eyes here, and taking stock of the body as you come back to your 3-count breath. That gentle snoring or ujjayi breath, victory breath, as you're inhaling into the belly, and inviting in this brightness, this awareness, and exhaling out any density, stuckness, anything that's not serving you from being in this present moment. Inhaling again, the hands up, opening the eyes, raising the arms up above the head, and exhaling the hands to the heart center. We're going to come into a forward fold here. If you have a wall, I would suggest this is a really great way to practice a supported forward fold, where you're placing the sit bones back, or the back, spreading the back body against, and the sit bones against the wall. The feet are about hip width distance apart, and then just allowing yourself to come forward into this forward fold here, into your tabletop position, and breathing with the hands on the top of the thighs here. This is a really good way to practice your tabletop position here. Breathing into the back of the lungs here. With the hips supported, you have another way of really having breath, the experience of the breath moving into the armpits, moving into the back of the scapula, really puffing up the back body. And exhaling the head to extend all the way forward. The hip bones will really press and spread wide into the wall if you're on a wall. And if not, you would also keep that weight in the heels if you're not practicing against the wall. And then on the exhale, grabbing hold of both elbows and letting yourself just hang here. Letting the neck and the head be loose and free. And with the biofeedback, if you have the wall behind you, really opening up the sit bones and making sure as you're looking down at your toes that the toes are pointing forward, the feet are parallel to one another. If this is too much for your lower back, micro bend your knees here, or if you're feeling a lot, if you have a left hamstring tightness, micro bending the knees here so that the torso can rest on the tops of the thighs. Finding the freedom of the breath moving in the back body as we're signaling to the body, to the nervous system that it's okay to release some of that cortisol, some of that fight or flight response that may come up in the life from dealing with the people, the family, the work. Breathing into the armpits, elongating, and really even thinking about pulling up out on the elbows as if you're trying to separate the elbows, pulling them apart while you're holding on to them with the hands. Making some more space and some more room for the neck to elongate as the head top is coming down towards the ground. And really just breathing into any tightness that might be in the back of the thighs here. Any tightness that might be in the back of the hamstrings. And inviting the breath in this ujjayi breath, this gentle snoring breath, or sexy Darth Vader breath. To extend, think about growing the spine from the base of the pelvis, extending, elongating, maybe even seeing, can you move the head back and forth? Yes, please, here. And gently tick-tock the head back and forth. No, thank you. Creating a few more centimeters or inches of space. Imagining the space in the vertebrae as we're allowing that spaciousness into the spine, which allows more prana and more energy to come into the body. So in yoga, we're using the breath always to invite spaciousness so that the density of the matter, the density of the physical body isn't taken over, and that there's the spaciousness of the waveform of the breath that is allowing the unfurling of the healing to happen. Beautiful. And so as we've been here for a minute or two, really bending the knees here and gently pressing into, if you're along the side of the wall here, pressing into the back, really bending here and allowing yourself to roll up one vertebrae at a time, tucking down the tailbone under on the exhale, really gently taking your time to come up, and then placing your hands on your knees here. We're going to come all the way, supporting yourself on the roll up and leaning against the wall here. Rotating the shoulders up and down and back, opening the hands against the back of the wall. Or if you're in standing, coming to your Tadasana or standing pose, and then just closing your eyes here. Feeling the benefits of this as the blood settles back into the body, as also the fluids and the lymph fluids, the different fluids in the body settle back. Even the balanced fluids in the eustachian tubes come back to homeostasis, come back to balance. Beautiful. So gently opening up the eyes. Beautiful. And inhaling the arms up above the head. And exhaling the hands back through the center of the body. In this gathering energy pose, inhaling, reaching up and gathering. Exhaling through the center of the line of the body. Inhaling the arms up. And exhaling back through the center line of the body. Beautiful. And I invite you to come to the front of your mat or whatever surface you're doing your yoga on. We're going to move through some gentle sun salutations here. So inhaling the arms up and above the head. Reaching up, gathering. You can interlace the hands up above the head if this is comfortable for you. We're going to take some side stretches here. Pressing the feet together, inhaling up. So the same movement that we were doing. Exhaling over to the left-hand side. The fingers interlaced above the head. You might even extend the pointer finger up. And trying to bring the curve out of the lower back, thinking of the tailbone tucking under. As you're pressing in through the right foot, you can extend through the left fingertip. As you're coming over to the left side, you might even look down towards your left toes, towards the left side of the body. And on the inhale, coming back up to center. Exhaling, a deep stretch of the left side, pressing, or the right side, pressing into the left toe. Inhale, looking down at the right side of the body, maybe even back towards the right side of the glute. And inhaling back up to center. And then we'll just tick-tock back and forth here. Inhaling, the hip to the side. How far can you reach? Inhaling, exhaling to one side, inhaling to the center, exhaling to one side, and inhaling to the center. Just opening up the sides of the lungs, inviting more breath and more spaciousness. Beautiful. Reaching the hands down, out to the side, in your standing Tadasana or mountain pose. The feet nice and strong, stepping to hips with distance apart here to begin with at the top of your mat. The hands out and inhaling the hands up above the head. And a gentle back bend if that feels good for you, engaging the belly back towards the spine, and exhale, bending down and showering over the body. Inhale, reaching up, coming up into that flat back. Hands come up the front of the legs, pressing into the heels. Flat back, and exhale, the belly comes back towards the spine. Inhaling, the hands up above the head. Eagle arms, the hands come back to the center line of the body into prayer position. And then one more time, inhale up. Exhale, cascading forward into flat back. Pulling up on the heels, the back of the legs, a micro bend here, inhaling to flat back. And exhale, cascading the belly towards the spine in the forward fold, bending the knees here. And inhale, pressing into the heels. Inhale, arms sweeping out towards the side. Inhaling the hands up to reach, gathering above the head, and then exhaling through the center line of the body. Beautiful. And one more time, inhale, gathering up. Exhale, arms apart, cascading forward, eagle arms. Inhale up to flat back. Exhaling to forward fold. This time here, we're going to bring the right leg back. So inhaling the right leg back so the right knee comes onto the ground. The right top of the foot might press into the ground. And inhaling the arms up above the head here. Exhaling the hands out towards the sides of the body. Sweeping forward. Tucking the right toe under, inhaling up. And exhale, walking the right foot up to meet the left foot. Exhaling forward. Inhaling, rising all the way up. And hands come to the heart center. Beautiful. We'll do that on the left side. Inhaling the arms up. Cascading forward at the waist. Inhale, coming up to flat back. Exhale, cascading forward. At the bottom of the exhale, bringing the left leg back. The left knee comes down to the ground. Inhale, pressing up into the strength of the right leg, the hip squared here. Inhaling the arms up. And exhaling, cascading the arms out towards the side. Tucking the left toe under. Inhaling that left knee up. And on the exhale, stepping the left foot forward to meet the right. Exhaling on the forward fold here. bending the knees, and inhaling, coming all the way up. Hands above the head, and exhaling the hands through the center of the heart. Beautiful. And one more time, inhaling the hands up. Exhale, cascading forward. Inhaling up to flat back. And exhale, cascading forward. The right leg coming back here. The right knee comes down. Inhaling up. And if it's comfortable for you, you might exhale the hands, both hands down to frame the front of the left foot. And then inhaling the right knee up. And bringing the right heel back down towards the ground at a 45-degree angle. You can stay here. You can stay up on your fingertips. You can bring your hands up onto the strength of your left knee and inhale the arms up above the head. Pressing firmly both into both feet. And we're going to come into our warrior one position. So you can keep the arms spread nice and wide here in a cactus arms if that's comfortable for you. We're going to take 2 breaths here in a dynamic pose. So inhaling, straightening the legs. And exhale, bending that front knee. Inhale, straightening that knee. Arms coming up. And exhale, bending the left knee. The arms come bent to cactus arms. Inhale, straightening the left knee. Arms come up. Reaching up towards the sky, extending out of the belly button. And on the exhale, coming back to that deep ujjayi breath, bending the left knee to a 45-degree angle, pressing into the right corner of the back foot, the right foot. And one more time, inhaling up. Exhale, arms coming back to cactus position. And coming down, cartwheeling the hands down to frame the front of the left foot. Coming up onto the right back of the toe. The right toe. And then on your next inhale here, breathing into the back of the chest. And on the exhale, stepping or walking that right foot forward. Inhaling up to flat back. Exhaling to forward fold. And inhale, pressing evenly into both feet, nice and strong and firm to the legs as you're straightening the legs and straightening the arms up above the head. The hands come back to the center of the heart. Beautiful, nice and strong through the body, nice and strong through the spirit. Inhaling the arms up above the head. Building up this fire as we exhale forward. You're doing beautifully here. Inhale up to flat back. Exhale, both hands come down to frame the side of the feet, bending the knees. That left foot comes back, right knee at a 45-degree angle. Bringing the left knee onto the ground. Inhaling the arms up above the head. Squaring off the hips here. Exhaling. Sweeping the hands down to frame the front of the feet, the right foot. Coming up onto your fingertips, tucking the left toes under, pressing into the left thigh, squaring off the right knee, inhaling the hands up above the head. As we come into warrior, bringing the left foot back down at a 45-degree angle, exhaling the hands out to cactus arms. So inhaling up. Straightening the front leg, the right leg, and the arms. Full breath and exhaling, bending that right knee, bending the elbows, inhaling, pressing evenly into both feet as the fingertips extend, exhaling, firm, equal action as the hips shine forward towards the front of the room, inhaling up for the front of your mat. Inhaling up towards your fingertips and then exhaling as you're bending the right knee at a 45-degree angle, The hands come down to sweep along the sides of the foot, the right foot, pivoting back to your left toe. Inhaling, taking a nice breath to fill up the back of the lungs here, and on the exhale, bending and bringing the left foot up to meet the right. Exhaling forward. Coming into your flat back position on the inhale. On the exhale, cascading forward. And on the inhale, coming all the way up. Exhaling the hands to the center of the heart. Beautiful. And inhaling the arms up above the head as we're gathering the strength to the center of the heart. This time walking the feet together and coming into a chair pose. So bending the knees. As you bend the knees, imagine that you're sitting back into a chair with the hands pressing in front of the heart here and sitting back into your chair. The weight comes into the heels here. Using this, one of the most functional movements of the body, the squat, the squatting or sitting position, and then inhaling up, straightening the arms, and then exhaling as the hands come back to the heart center, bending the knees, sitting back in the chair, and making sure that the knees don't come over the toes here. So wherever is comfortable for you, just making sure that as you look down, your knees don't go over your toes. So this is a functional moving, lifting up on your kneecaps, even pulling up on your pelvic floor here. And then exhaling, coming into standing, using the strength of the thighs, the core to stand and reach all the way up. And one more time, inhaling, bending the knees, coming back into this chair. And the weight shifts back into the hips, back into the heels. Hands come pressing one into another in front of the heart. Inhaling. Nice and firm, the knees pushing together, and then exhaling, coming up. Ooh. Feeling that fire, feeling that heat in the body, feeling that heat in the belly. Beautiful. We're going to inhale up. Exhale, cascading forward. And the hands come down to the ground. We're going to come back into a downward dog here. Or if you've had enough, you can come back into your child's pose here. But I do suggest if you can keep with the heat in the body, inhaling and just kind of tick-tocking the knees back and forth, bringing one heel and then the other heel. Opposite, bringing the heels down towards the floor, walking out the back side of the legs as you're bending the right knee and then bending the left knee. Pressing evenly and firmly into both hands. Taking one inhale here. Into the center of the chest and the center of the armpits as we've been opening them up. And then exhaling, bringing the knees down towards the ground. The toes come together. And then exhaling, coming into your well-deserved child's pose. Exhaling, the head comes down towards the ground. And coming into this healing mudra. Allowing the belly to be nice and loose and free. Coming back to your ujjayi, your victory breath, as you prove victorious in keeping with this strengthening and warming practice today. Giving yourself a gentle mental pat on the back and a big up-in for your strength, integrity, and go-to-itiveness. Breathing into your armpits as the breath begins to slow down. allowing this biofeedback of the head on the floor that is cueing to the central nervous system, all is well. All is well in the body, the mind, and the spirit. And gently releasing the breath and walking the fingertips one into the other as you come into a seated position in the center of your mat. We'll finish today's practice with one of my favorite and most phenomenal breathing practices, pranayama practices, called Nadi Shodhana. So inhaling the shoulders up and down and back. If you've been checking out any of the series, we have gone into this before, and I much love the benefits, and just invite you to even try just doing 5 minutes a day. This is all the yoga you do anywhere at any time. I would just give you the challenge, try maybe 5 minutes in the morning or 5 minutes in the night before you go to bed if you really want to work on your dream recall. But regardless, making your hand into an L shape, your right hand into an L shape, and pressing the pointer and the middle finger into the center of the brow. You're going to use the thumb and the ring finger as a valve. You'll begin by exhaling into the left side of the nostril with the eyes gently closed, and then inhaling for 3, 4 counts into the left side of the nostril, filling up the breath, imagining that it's coming into the center of the forehead, closing both nostrils with the thumb and the ring finger, holding that breath for 4 count of 4, 3, 2, 1, and then exhaling out the right side of the nostril, opening up, 3, 2, 1, then inhaling in the right side of the nostril, closing the right nostril with the thumb, holding the breath, rotating the breath, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then exhaling out the left side. 4, 3, 2, 1 with the thumb pressing in to the right side of the nostril. And that is 1 round. I invite you to try a few rounds of it here. I will cue us gently. And so again, just inhaling into the left side. 4, 3, 2, 1, into the center of the braid, rotating the breath. 4, 3, 2, 1, and extending the exhale out the right side. 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhaling in the right side. 4, 3, 2, 1. Retaining the breath, both nostrils closed. 4, 3, 2, 1, and exhaling out the left side. 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhaling in the left side, keeping the eyes and the focus where the fingertips are pressing into the center of the forehead. Closing both nostrils, retaining the breath, pulling up on the pelvic floor if you're familiar with the Mula Bandha or root lock, perhaps even pulsating the pelvic floor. 2, 3, 4, and then exhaling out the right side of the nostril. 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhaling in the right side of the nostril. 4, 3, 2, 1. Bringing that breath into the center of the head, into the pineal gland, pulling up on the pelvic floor as both nostrils are closed. 4, 3, 2, 1, pulsating if you're familiar with that, and then exhaling out the left side of the nostril. 4, 3, 2, 1. And allowing the hand to come down. You might keep with that breath if you have a little more time here at the end of your practice. But just noticing as you're coming into Sukhasana or this pose of stillness, any changes that might be in the mind, body, or spirit state. Bringing the hands, pressing them into the heart center, breathing into that Ujjayi breath. Giving thanks for this practice, giving thanks for the ancestors that brought you to your own healing. Bringing the hands in front of the third eye, in front of the brow. Inhaling in if you found any benefits from this practice, centering this energy, this focus with this intention and gratitude for right thought that brought you to this moment, and gathering and bringing the hands in front of the mouth, giving gratitude and joy for right heart-centered speech, and then bringing the hands in, pressing into the sternum in front of the heart, giving gratitude and focus for right heart-centered action. Maybe even finding the corner of your mouth, both sides of the mouth turning up, turning into this gentle mudra known as the smile, or maybe even bringing this outer smile into an inner smile, that you can bring this healing energy into your organs or into any part of your body that could really benefit from this culmination of your practice today. So gently opening the eyes, giving thanks to you for showing up. I'm Afi Ayana. I am honored to be part of your healing journey. If you have any questions, feel free to reach me at afiayana.com. And we will be here again, sponsored by the African American Arts and Cultural Complex in San Francisco, to get this healing on. So thank you so much for joining, and I'll see you soon.